Imagine living each day with peace, clarity, and love, without the constant voice of self-doubt, guilt, or fear. Imagine relationships built on respect and freedom, instead of misunderstanding and pain. That's the promise of the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, a guide to breaking free from the invisible rules that limit our lives and rediscovering the power of choice and awareness. Ruiz begins by explaining that from the moment we're born, we enter what he calls the dream of the planet. This dream is the collective system of beliefs, values, and rules we inherit from family, culture, religion, and society. As children, we don't choose these beliefs, we're domesticated into them. We learn what's good and bad, what earns us love or rejection, what defines our worth. Over time, we internalize these rules and create a voice inside our minds, the judge, that constantly evaluates us and others. We also develop the victim, the part of us that accepts judgment and feels shame or guilt. Together, these voices keep us trapped in a cycle of suffering, trying endlessly to be good enough. Ruiz says the key to freedom is awareness, to recognize that our beliefs are not truth, but agreements we've made. When we see that we can break old agreements and create new ones, we begin to awaken from the dream. The first major lesson is be impeccable with your word. The word, Ruiz says, is the most powerful tool we have. It's the force of creation. With words, we express our intent and shape reality. But most people use their words unconsciously to gossip, to judge, to criticize, or to spread fear. Being impeccable with your word means using language in the direction of truth and love. It means speaking with integrity, saying only what you mean, avoiding self-criticism, and refusing to use words against yourself or others. Ruiz writes, "The word is a seed, and the human mind is fertile ground. If you plant seeds of doubt or hate, you harvest suffering. But if you plant seeds of truth and kindness, you create beauty." To be impeccable is not about perfection, it's about awareness. Each time you speak with honesty, compassion, or gratitude, you purify your mind and elevate your consciousness. And this doesn't just apply to how you speak to others, it begins with how you speak to yourself. The inner dialogue we maintain is often harsher than any criticism from the outside world. Being impeccable means replacing "I'm not enough" with "I'm learning." It means turning your words into instruments of healing rather than harm. The second lesson is, don't take anything personally. This agreement alone, Ruiz says, can completely transform your life. We often take offense at what others say or do, believing it's about us, but it's not. What people say and do is a reflection of their own reality, not yours. When someone criticizes or praises you, they're reacting to their own beliefs, fears, and expectations. When you stop taking things personally, you become immune to others' opinions. You free yourself from emotional dependency and suffering. Ruiz writes, "Nothing others do is because of you. What they say and do is a projection of their own dream. Even when someone lashes out, it's their pain speaking, not truth about you. This doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop carrying. You can listen, understand, and even empathize without absorbing their energy. When you no longer internalize others' negativity, you reclaim your inner peace." The third lesson is, don't make assumptions. The human mind hates uncertainty. When we don't know the truth, we fill the gaps with assumptions. We assume what others think, feel, or intend, and then we react as if our assumptions were facts. This creates endless misunderstanding and drama. We assume our partner is angry, our friend is distant, our co-worker disrespects us, and we start a spiral of resentment. But most of the time, our assumptions are wrong. Ruiz offers a simple cure. Ask instead of assuming. Have the courage to communicate clearly. Ask questions, clarify intentions, and express your needs. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want, he writes. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. Not making assumptions is a form of self-love. It frees you from unnecessary emotional pain. It builds bridges instead of walls. The truth may not always be what you want to hear, but it's always better than the stories your mind invents. The fourth lesson is, always do your best. This final agreement ties all the others together. Always do your best means giving your full effort in each moment, not out of obligation or perfectionism, but out of love. Your best will change from day to day. It will be different when you're healthy or tired, joyful or sad. But if you simply do your best, no more, no less, you silence the voice of self-judgment. You stop regretting the past and worrying about the future. Ruiz says, when you do your best, you learn to accept yourself. Doing your best isn't about outcomes, it's about presence. It means showing up with your full heart, regardless of results. Doing your best also means forgiving yourself. There will be days when you break the other agreements, when you react, assume, or speak harshly. That's part of being human. But if you did your best in that moment, that's enough. Growth happens when you learn, not when you punish yourself. Together, these 4 agreements create a map for personal freedom. When you practice them, the old agreements fear, guilt, judgment, and doubt begin to lose power. You become conscious, peaceful, and self-loving. Ruiz explains that true freedom isn't about changing the world, it's about changing your inner world. When your mind becomes free of false beliefs, you stop living in fear and start living in love. He writes, the real you is pure love, pure joy, pure freedom. Everything else is learned. Ruiz also teaches that awareness itself is the first act of rebellion. You don't have to fight your mind or destroy your ego, you just have to see it clearly. When you notice the judge or victim speaking inside your head, smile and remember, that's not me, that's a story I was taught to believe. The more you practice these agreements, the quieter that voice becomes. The mind that once attacked you becomes your ally. Life becomes simpler, lighter, and more authentic. Imagine what the world would look like if everyone lived this way. If people spoke with integrity, stopped taking things personally, asked instead of assuming, and simply did their best, conflict would dissolve. Communication would deepen. Compassion would spread. It would truly be a world awake. Let's briefly recap the 4 agreements. 1E2. Be impeccable with your word. Speak truth and love into existence. 2R. Don't take anything personally. What others do reflects their inner world, not yours. 3. Don't make assumptions. Communicate clearly and eliminate unnecessary suffering. 4 Runes. Always do your best. Give your full heart to each moment without judgment. Simple? Yes. Easy? Not always. But with practice, these agreements shift you from unconscious reaction to conscious choice. You begin to live as a creator instead of a victim. The big takeaway from the 4 agreements is this: the path to freedom begins with awareness. When you take responsibility for your words, your perceptions, and your energy, you reclaim your power. You stop living by the world's agreements and start living by your own truth, one rooted in love and consciousness. That was The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, broken down into its most powerful lessons in under 14 minutes. Which agreement spoke most deeply to you, being impeccable with your word, not taking things personally, or always doing your best? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns of life-changing books. Thanks for watching, and remember, freedom begins the moment you stop believing your limitations and start living your truth.